Is good, everyone? It is one half of Los Comic Bros. My name is Jose. The cameraman is Junior. The other half, of course. So, who we are? Los Comic Bros is actually a pair of brothers who have just really gotten into comic book world, as well as more recently some of the figurines and stuff. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram, I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description. Follow us if you like what you see in this video. The purpose of this video is, in particularly, is we actually just came back from Toys R Us, the very last trip to Toys R Us here in Brooklyn, and we wanted to see what there was, what to check out. We also wanted to show our very first pickup from HobbyLink Japan. Quick background story: if you do not know what HobbyLink Japan is, check them out for everything that you need in terms of Gundams, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, even Japanese snacks, man. Straight from Japan, and we actually got something really, really cool. And another thing on its way, hopefully by the end of this week, fingers crossed. But let's just go right into it, right? So the one thing that we did manage to pick up, because Toys R Us, let's be real, there was very little inventory left. Plus the sale was only 10% off, which was slightly disappointing. But we did manage to pick up a Tamishi Buddy Megazord. Now, this Megazord is one of 5, of course, the other 2 being the red, pink, the green, and Lord Zed. But we got it for retail, no tax, so literally that was all that it was. It was advertised for like 14 something, and we paid 14 something, so with tax it would have been $16 and something cents. We're just happy to have it because it adds on to the collection that we've been starting to pick up in terms of Power Ranger stuff. This being the main Megazord that we have. But now it's cool because we have a mini one. And I mean, I'm excited to open it later on. The details on this look pretty accurate, and the paint job is actually okay. I've seen some pretty messed up paint jobs before, in particular these small guys. But Toys R Us has been around for years now. Something that I grew up on, something that my brother grew up on. Before that, it was KB Toys. Shout out to you if you remember KB Toys. A little unfortunate that it's going out of business, but at the same time, we're living in a world where everything's going online. So Amazon's picking up exactly where Toys R Us left off. Because we were very disappointed in the fact that we only picked up one thing from Toys R Us, we decided to step by Best Buy just to see what they had. In particular, movie-wise, one movie that I picked up for $4 was actually Limitless, featuring Bradley Cooper. If you're familiar with Lucy, the story, this is kind of before that. Literally kind of the same theme where you're able to access 100% of your mental capacity and your brain usage through a pill. Sick movie for $4. And then something that we saw that kind of caught us off guard because of the pink case. We're not sure if we're going to open it up and find a Disney princess movie or a Barney movie. Was Turbo, Power Rangers the movie. We do have the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but for $6, Turbo was something that we needed to add to the collection. Now, the biggest pickup that happened this weekend was actually coming from Japan, from HobbyLink Japan. If you're familiar with Super Sentai, then you know that this season is a very cool one. We are coming off of episode 8 of Lupin Ranger versus Pattern Ranger, which is 2 sets of Rangers going at each other, all in search of 2 things, right? Justice for the people, because of course Rangers fight for good, and the Lupin collection. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. You can find it on YouTube, other sites. If you literally just Google Lupin versus Pato, it'll come up. We have here the Pattern figures. We got Pattern 1, Pattern 2, and Pattern 3. These are otherwise known as Police Rangers, or the police force. These are our soft vinyl figures. The biggest difference between these and, say, like, a legacy figure is that these have very limited mobility. So basically you can move both, their arms No head movement, but we do have waist movement. These are just really cool to have and look at and display. The attention to detail is pretty spot on. I mean, from the helmet, you can kind of see the actual visor, and just the tag is really cool. I mean, the fact that it's in Japanese, of course, it's coming straight from Japan, so it makes sense. But we got all three of them, so we decided to go full on set. Now, if you have one of the teams, it's only right that you have the other team. These are the Lupin Rangers, otherwise known as the Thief Rangers. We got Lupin Red, Lupin Blue, and Lupin Yellow. Fun fact, we actually just figured out their age based on the last episode. These guys are young. What the difference between these and the Pattern Rangers in terms of the figure itself is that with these you only have real movement in the arms. There's no waist movement, and that's because of the design cape. So they do come with the cape, which is a nice little detail, but because you have the cape, there's no mobility in it. Which, you know, you win some, you lose some, you decide what to give up in terms of that. This figure itself is really, really interesting. This is Patron Yugo, as it was pronounced in the show. If I messed that up, my apologies. But what this is basically all three Patron Rangers, Patron 1, 2, and 3 in one. Mobility in the arms, mobility in the waist, and that's about it. So cool to have. So cool to have in terms of all three of the Patron, all three of the Lupin, and this guy right here. Each figure was actually about $7-8 American dollars, and then shipping wise, in total that brought 7 figures to about $60 shipped. We did pay for express shipping, so it got here, I want to say, in 4 days, because I put the order in on Wednesday, paid for the express shipping. So from Japan to here in 4 days, that's insane. That's unheard of. Just really, really cool to have. Shout out to HobbyLink Japan once again for these. And we have something very special coming in, hopefully by the weekend. It is WrestleMania weekend, so if we do have that video up later on, just be aware that it's because it's WrestleMania weekend. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed this week's pickups. We do have New Comic Wednesday coming out tomorrow. Expect a Instagram post on that. Once again, follow us on Instagram. Give this video a like. If you didn't like anything, comment. Let us know, right? We're trying to make this account be something special. We're also not super rich, so what we find are major steals, right? We're trying to give the idea that everything is affordable. So, give us a like, give us a follow, and just say what's up. Thanks, guys.
They wish and I wish and I wish and I wish and they wishing on me. Yeah. I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me.